Hey, I'm Don Sweet, and we are here today on Lake St. Clair, Michigan, near the Canadian border, fishing for smallmouth bass. And I'm here today with, thought I might have one. I'm here today with Smallmouth Bass Pro, member of the Stratus Pro team, Chris Williams. And he's been fishing this lake for decades. He is Mr. Smallmouth. Some of the rumors have it he was orphaned and raised by smallmouths. I mean, this guy knows the deal. And we're gonna be out here today. It's, you know, the wind's blowing out of the east. You know what they say about fish biting the least. All that behind us, we're gonna get some fish. I just got that feeling. Chris, what do you think is gonna be the secret today, despite the conditions and everything, to us finding some smallmouth bass?
Don, we're gonna do a little drift and drag technique that's really popular out here. We use a drift sock. The wind is actually perfect for it today, 1 to 2 footers. We're gonna use a drop shot, try a little bit of drop shotting with a little goby bait by Poor Boys. If that doesn't work, we'll go to a tube, which tubes are really popular out here. We'll try that for a little while. I'm sure we're gonna get into them, it's just a matter of finding them on the right rock pile. Well, let me show you what we're gonna be using today, Don. We're gonna be using a light, medium action spinning outfit with 8 or a 10-pound test today, with a little drop shot rig, number 2 oyster hook, with a little 3/8 ounce bell sinker, set about 18 inches deep. Works pretty well. We're gonna try some of these Poor Boy goby baits today. The 2 colors that have been working out here pretty good lately has been the smoke with purple flake and the dark green with gold. Again, out here, Lake St. Clair, Lake Erie, greens are always good. Some of the other baits that we may try today will be the tube. These are Mismo tubes and the big boys. This particular one here is Erie Green. One of my favorites is Watermelon and Red Flake. And this one here is actually called Green Mist, which is a dark watermelon green with gold flake. One of my favorite colors out here in the springtime, which a lot of people don't know about, is a little secret, is the pink. I get up in the real shallow waters around the rocks and stuff, and I like to use the pink tubes, which works really, really well here in the springtime. So actually, this is the kind of waves I like out here usually most of the time.
Really?
You can drive these, they're great for drifting, get the fish excited.
Yeah.
Much worse than this isn't much fun.
Is this what they call foot or less on Lake St. Clair when you hear on the radio?
Not really, this is probably 2 footers.
Okay.
I mean, right now they're not too bad, but like when we came out and stuff, it was a little bit worse.
Yeah.
So it's 1 to 2 footers.
I bet you fishing the Great Lakes, you know, with the big waves, the big wind and all this stuff, really kind of gets you ready to go down south in some of these reservoirs. And you know, you hear some of those guys say, man, it's awful out there, and you're just laughing, just blasting right through it.
I have a good story about that. Yeah, me and my friends, we go down to Dale Hollow almost every single spring down in Tennessee, down to the big reservoir. And last year we were out there and we were walking out on the dock like 8 o'clock in the morning, and there's a whole bunch of local guys out there seeing us walking down the dock, and they looked at us and said, you boys ain't going out on that lake today, are you? We said, well, yeah, that's what we came down here for. Why? Well, son, there's got to be 3 footers coming down the middle of that lake. And we just laughed at him. Told him, man, that's a good day at home. We're going fishing.
And you know, up here, you know, I guess especially in Erie, you know, I'm sure you'd agree, Erie's got these unusual waves.
Right,
you know,
it really does.
Hits you from all these different directions, so you know, you being used to fishing up here, it's got to make it a whole lot easier on you.
Oh, it is. You go down there and then 3 footers, they're nothing. I mean, you wish you had those up here like that all the time.
Known, I mean, regionally or whatever, as a great smallmouth lake?
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Is it known
probably even
nationally?
More, yeah, probably more so than Lake Erie is really.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because it's this one was known for the smallmouth and the tournament fish and everything else before Lake Erie. And still today, it's easier for guys to hold a tournament here at Lake St. Clair than it is to hold it at Lake Erie. Simply because a lot of guys have the smaller boats, 17, 18, 19 footers, which can handle this lake a lot better than they can that one if it blows up. So.
Yeah.
Plus, there's more accesses here on this lake. There's tons of boat ramps, accesses for bass tournaments. We're really, from our side of town, you only got Erie Metro Park and Elizabeth Park, which are good for bass tournaments. Well, like right now, we're bouncing over rocks and stuff.
Yeah.
And usually, when you feel it, it's just a real sharp. They'll just grab it and they'll thump it.
Oh, okay.
So.
Okay. So they're definitely rock lovers.
Oh yeah, definitely.
If you don't have that rock structure, you don't have smallmouth, right?
Pretty much. I mean, in the springtime, it's not as predominant because you can go and catch them on a flat, sandy flat that has a few scattered rocks, and they'll hook up to just one rock to bed or something. But during the summertime, when they're out here in the summertime, their regular time, they like getting around these rock piles. That's where the crayfish are going to live. That's where the bait fish are going to live because they can hide in those rock piles. The fish can get in there and feed real easy. Don't have to go too far, use too much energy to feed, and they can just sit there and get nice and fat for us.
I'm kind of equating it to largemouth bass fishing, where this guy had told me, where there's grass, there's bass.
That's right.
And so where there's rocks,
there's
there's
rocks,
smallmouth.
there's smallmouth. Yeah.
Yep. Okay, now what top secret pro tip are you going to share that's going to get fish that are short bait? Did you put a trailer?
We got a little secret down there.
Yeah. That's what I figured.
I should probably put it on right now.
I knew you'd have a secret trick for that,
Little thing we call smelly jelly.
Gives them a taste, so they hang on that extra second.
They grab a hold of the tail, maybe gives them a little taste, gives them that little extra 1 second that I need to set the hook, or maybe they'll take one more gulp to get up to the hook, and it smells.
Smell it. Now, is it supposed to be some kind of fish that it smells like, or?
It smells like dead minnows to me.
Dead minnows. Okay. And they like minnows, so. Well, Chris, I like this drop shotting technique. It's a lot like perch fishing, and I love to perch fish. Has this been used quite a bit by the bass fishermen, or is this kind of a new technique that you guys are trying?
Don, the typical drop shot technique that most guys use around the country is really not legal in Michigan. There's a couple of different things that we can do to manipulate it, change it a little bit, to make it work. But the regular drop shot's not legal in Michigan. Right now we happen to be fishing just a little bit over the border, so we're allowed to use it. But it hasn't been real popular out here till last year. It really caught on. Guys started catching some big fish with it. The word got out. This year it's been just phenomenal. Guys are catching big sacks with this drop shot and winning big tournaments, coming in with 20, 25 pound sacks for 5 fish off the drop shot. So it's just working phenomenal for guys this year.
So I guess if I'm going to learn a technique, is a drop shot.
He was zooming, and when I set the hook, he just cleaned it off.
Man. He's in here feeding on something.
Smallmouth.
Yeah. Lake St. Clair, if you don't know this already, is one of the most famous muskie fisheries in the country. I've been up here, with charter captains and whatnot fishing. On days we've had 22 muskies go. Now, this is the fish of 10,000 casts, and we've got 22 in a day, a 6-hour day. So, I mean, up here doing this, smallmouth fishing, I'm curious, Chris, have you hooked into muskie doing this?
Now that you mention it, Don, we have had that happen a few times. A lot of times you'll get like a 2 or 3 pound smallmouth on, especially out by the Bell River area where they're real predominant. And you'll be reeling that thing in, thinking, oh, this is a pretty good fish. And all of a sudden, it feels like the fish just takes off, starts peeling line, and you realize a muskie has got a hold of your smallmouth. And it's the darndest thing. A lot of times they'll let it go by the time you get up to the boat, but you'll have a 20 or 30 pound muskie trying to eat your smallmouth while you're trying to bring it in.
Man.
But we have caught a few on tubes also. It's pretty wild to get a muskie on a light rod where you're fishing for bass.
There we go.
He's
all right, Chris.
And talking.
Chris, you got me on the spot, man. Hey. Oh, he jumped. Look at that, man. All right, Chris. Oh, what happened?
Oh, no, he come off.
Oh, he jumped and everything. Are you kidding me? No, not a 3-pounder. That's right. He's not it. 8-pounder, man. Clearly an 8-pound fish. Unbelievable. And what did he hit? The lowly foreign invader. Oh, and this is what did it. Look at this. A rookie mistake. My hook is turned back in on my bait. Look at that. And you know, it's probably something I should have checked better. But if I'd have checked that, Chris, the rookie would have a fish right now. But hey, they're here. Well, when I hooked that one, man, he's halfway to the boat. I figured, hey, they're gonna turn on.
Right,
now.
they're gonna start. Sometimes that's what it takes, but also, I lost a fish right there, and so did you. And sometimes that'll turn them off for a while. They'll go down and spook the pack up a little bit.
Yeah.
The ones that we lost. There's one. There's a fish.
All right, Chris. How's he feel, man?
Not real big, but it feels like a smallmouth.
There we go. There we go.
It's definitely a smallmouth.
Oh, there, nice jump.
About a 3-pounder.
And I got one too.
Do you really?
I got one too,
You
Chris.
got one too.
Oh, it came on. Oh, are you kidding me? Again. Man. I don't even know if he didn't break it. It feels awful light. Something happened. No. The reason it feels light is there's that 12-pound smallmouth that I know was on here isn't on there. Chris, man, I tell you what, man.
Yeah, it's a good hook set, everything.
Man. Back to the drawing board. Hey, but they're here. They are here. But that's me. Every tournament, no matter what species, I'll come in and I'll have a fish story. You know what I mean? And every once in a while, I'll have a tournament where we've caught every fish that is bit. You know.
Right.
So there's no if only. You know. Or like today would have been a day. Man, if only I'd have gotten that one. You know. Yeah. I've done one tournament where we caught every fish that bit. We caught 10 and we needed to weigh in 5. And we didn't miss any, nothing, and we finished 5th. And that, you know, that's just what we got dealt. Then I've had ones where I finished 20-something, where, you know, you'll lose a couple big fish, you know. And by the time I get back to the dock, man, that thing could have towed the boat, you know.
That's right.
So.
Anyone you lose is a big fish.
Oh, definitely. I've never lost a little fish.
You never lose a little fish.
Chris, do these smallmouth tend to be territorial? I mean, structure-oriented?
Yeah, they really are. You'll find that if you let a fish go here, it's going to go down pretty much back to the same rock pile and stay there. They might not be very active for a little while. They're going to sit down there and kind of sulk, if you will, and not do a whole lot. But you'll find a lot of them are very territorial, and they like to be structure-oriented. You can catch one here. I like to, especially if I'm in a tournament, I'll throw a buoy out, turn right around, go back up, go around the rock pile, drift right back through it again. And you can catch 3 or 4 on the same rock pile because they're all bunched right up in the one spot.
I got something. There he is. Oh, man, bust to the top of the water. Now this is a better fish, Chris. He's staying deep. This is a good fish, man. He's staying down. But he came up just enough for me to see his big self. Come on, baby. Come on. Oh, yeah, look at that. Oh, yeah.
Nice fish. Good job, Don.
Nice, nice. It's just like you said, we got back over that area where I lost that one earlier. You popped one, I popped one right there.
So they were still there.
Man, these pros know all this good stuff, you know? he just got through telling me about how these fish will go back down and kind of hang in that great structure, and man, almost on cue.
The Rod Glove offers full protection for your rods during transport and while in storage. The high-quality, flexible, and UV-resistant material has a high thread count and protects your rod guides and blanks so you can be confident next time you set the hook. Our tapered tip that comes standard on every Rod Glove offers a solution for easy in and out of your rod locker. Rod gloves are available in a wide array of colors and come in both casting and spinning models. You'll be sure to find a rod glove for every one of your rods, as we offer 3 different lengths for both casting and spinning and cover rods between 5 feet all the way up to 8 feet in length. For more information on casting and spinning lengths or for full color selection, visit therodglove.com.
It's a beautiful morning here in Vermilion, Ohio. And today, I'll be fishing Lake Erie, targeting smallmouth bass. Chris Williams is my captain today. Chris, Is it true, pound for pound, these are a fighting fish?
Oh yeah, if you've never caught smallmouth before, you just wait. When we catch a 3-pound smallmouth, it's gonna fight better than a 5 or 6 pound largemouth. So we're gonna go out there and have a ball. We're gonna start out in 15 feet,
Okay.
which is a pretty good depth out here. That's where most of the bigger fish been getting caught, 15 feet to 25 feet. So.
And we're basically going to be fishing on the bottom of the water. And we're just letting it sink and just let it sit out there?
Actually, what we're gonna do, and that was okay, but what we're gonna do is I'm gonna actually turn the boat into the wind here. And we're gonna throw right into the wind. That way we'll drift with the wind.
Okay.
And see what happens.
So you may reel this in, or?
Yeah, go ahead and reel it in. So a lot of times you catch one out here on a rock pile or a rock area, you'll catch 2 or 3 or more.
Okay. Yeah, it would be hard looking at the lake. I mean, it's so large. How would you know where to go back to?
But you can follow your GPS back too. You can follow
That's true.
your line. I like to leave a line on my GPS so I know exactly where I drifted at. Because a lot of times in tournaments, if you throw out a buoy and you go very far, those guys are going to come right up behind you and jump right on your buoy.
Yeah, they're like, there's this buoy.
That's right. He just caught a fish there, so they're going to go there.
I would be a bad person on the tournament because I get excited when I catch a fish. So everyone would know on the lake, I caught a fish, and then they'd all be over here. How'd you find this? I would think that I would be closer to shore looking for rock structure, not in the middle of Lake Erie somewhere.
Actually, you kind of cheat. You take a camera, and you come out here with an underwater camera, and you drift around for a few days with no rod and reel and just your camera, marking spots on your GPS. That works good for me. Other people do it other ways, but that works well for me.
That's a good idea. It's a good way to see what's under the water.
The camera doesn't lie. I mean, you get down there, you can tell exactly what it is. And...
Wow, I like that secret. Now the weight was long and narrow. Is that so that way if it does get caught in the rocks?
That's one of those Lindy rattle snag frees, I think they call them. It's designed that way so it does come through the rocks real well. Those bell sinkers, which a lot of guys use for their drop shots, get hung up in the rocks real easy. They get hung up in the zebra mussels. Plus with this you get a little bit of the extra action of the rattle that the fish can help find the bait a little bit easier. So.
Yeah, it makes sense to have the best equipment because if not, you're retying constantly.
Exactly right.
So you're not really fishing, you're just retying everything that you get snagged.
And out here with the zebra mussels, you're retying a lot anyway. So that's the thing about fishing rock piles is you kind of just keep going back and drifting on them and drifting on them. And
now, do you always drift for smallmouth, or is there any other?
Not always. A lot of times you can get up on a spot, like if you know where there's a rock pile, and you can actually anchor and sit there and work the rock pile with a tube or another bait, like you can even use a drop shot on it. Sit there and just literally work the rock pile or the spot. I like dragging. You cover a little bit more ground that way. Because if you're anchored in one spot, that gives you very limited space to fish. Where if you're dragging, you actually get to fish that whole rock pile. You can go up and move on it a little bit on one side or the other and work it a little bit more. And it gives you...
Cover more territory.
Cover more territory. The wind usually makes them a little bit more active too. And today is pretty calm, so it's going to be, unfortunately, it's going to be a little bit slower no matter what. So it's funny, you'll be fishing with guys out here and they'll start getting into these rocks and they get excited just feeling the rocks down there. Because you start feeling the bigger rocks and stuff, you know you're in the right spot.
Now, are the fish actually hiding between the rocks, or?
They live in the rocks. That's where all the crayfish and their food is. You know, they're going to live and eat around the rocks. If they're out in the open sand, which they will be sometimes, like for bedding and stuff, there's not much food out there for them. Where around the rocks, they can feed a lot easier. All the little critters that live around the rocks.
So in the springtime, you'll find them in sandy areas because they're going to be spawning in those areas, and then they come back to the rocks. Right.
Even when they spawn, a lot of times they'll find a individual rock someplace in a sand flat, and they'll bed up against the rock or a log or whatever they can find.
What about rocks? They really like
them. They like the rocks.
Yeah. Now, do they go back to the same spawning area every year?
Pretty much, yeah. You can go back to the same areas year after year after year and find bedding areas. This lake, the less wind it is, the harder it gets.
What about colors when you use the artificial baits? Do they target?
There is different colors that work better than others out here. Purple fleck baits work well out here, like a smoke color. Like the one you're using right now is like a smoke color with purple fleck. That works real well out here. Green, anything green, green tubes, green worms, green anything works really well, especially green with gold flake works really well.
Flake, you mean like glitter?
Glitter, right.
I call it glitter.
We call it flake.
The technical term is flake.
I mean, men can't say that we have glitter in our lures, so
even though like all
flake.
the bass boats look glittery.
It's flake. It's not glitter, it's flake.
All right. But now, when the sun is out, would you use lighter color baits or do any of that type of thing? Dark baits, dark color?
Not really, because primarily we're fishing 15 feet of water, so the sun's not going to make that much of an effect on whether it's light or dark. Basically, they're going to get the same reaction whether it's dark or light out. But the golds and the coppers, purple, seem to be the predominant flake to use. Greens, smokes are the best. When it's a little bit muddier out, I like to go to a black or a darker bait. Black and red works really well when it's a little bit muddy out.
Now, how do you know what to choose? I mean, is it out of just experience and
just out of experience,
with
yeah.
different fishermen?
Yeah, partly from other people that you know that you've talked to, that what's working at different times. A lot of it's from experience, the different colors that you know. Probably the best conditions you can ask for is a 10 to 15 mile an hour wind, so you got a good 1 to 2 foot chop water. The fish like it a little bit active. Makes them a little less spooky because obviously they can't see you as well as you can't see them. Makes it so you can drift easy in the wind. A little bit of cloud cover, puts them on the rocks a little bit tighter, gets them in the structure a little bit tighter. They stay on the rock piles, they're a little bit easier to key in on. Today we have none of that. They're going to be scattered, they're going to be widely scattered, they're not going to be packed up whatsoever. It's going to be a onesie, twosie kind of day. If we can find them, we're going to find one here, one there. It just makes it very, very tough with the high skies and no wind.
Hey, I got
there's one. There's one, finally.
Oh, he's moving.
It looks like a good one too.
They are feisty. You are right.
They'll fight pretty good.
Come on, buddy. Now, when I get him close to the boat, are you gonna?
I'm gonna get up here and.
Oh, look, he's moving around. You can see him. Got a little bit of color. Hey, buddy, come on over here. I don't want him to get underneath the boat. Oh!
Oh, good and lively.
Look at him.
All right, that's a nice one right there.
All right. Now, what did we catch him on?
A tube. That's a Mismo tube. It's a smoking purple flake.
Look at this guy. Nice color. Hey, got another one
There's
on, Captain. Fish on.
There you go. That looks like another good one.
I casted this one out a little bit farther past the boat, so.
Good. Let me put this down, I'll come back there.
Woo! I feel him. He's shaking his head. He's saying, I don't want to come in at all.
They don't like to come into the boat, so.
It's almost like when they see the boat, they turn their head.
Oh yeah. The closer they get, the more they're gonna fight.
Oh, he feels good. He's staying down deep. Come on, buddy. Surface.
Oh,
Woo!
I see him coming now.
See him?
I see him coming.
Ah, come on, guy.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
Hey, buddy. Oh, he's taking another dive back down. Oh, gonna splash the captain.
Give me a shower. There we go, that's a nice fish.
There we are. Nice one. Grab the lip on this one. I'll let you take the rod. Look at this guy.
Nice fish.
Nice looking fish. I think the spot's the perfect spot. We've been hitting them and tapping them. I think this can be an active spot now.
Yeah, once the wind finally kicked up, we're starting to get them now. So
Yeah, yep, definitely.
hopefully we can get some more.
Good, well, we'll get them back in the water.
Alrighty. Let me show you some of the most popular plastic baits that we use here on Lake Erie. The most popular one, of course, is the tube. The tube has been very hot for years, tied with a tube jig. These particular ones are Mismo tubes. As you can see, the green color is very, very hot out here. Greens with purple, greens with gold are the hottest colors out here all year long. When it gets a little bit dingy or dirty from the wind blowing it up, I like to go to a little bit darker color, like the black with the red flake. This seems to work real well in dirty water. Now this year, in the last couple of years, we've had some new baits come on that have been very hot out here on a drop shot. The smallie beavers in several different colors, the black and blue and the greens again. These are very hot out here with the drop shot. And the newest one that everybody's been catching the big fish on has been the poor boy gobies in the larger size. The smoke with purple flake And of course, again, the green with the gold flake have been very, very awesome this year. A lot of guys on drop shots been getting 5-pound sacks of 20, 25 pounds on these to win tournaments. And this seems to be the most popular this year right now, that it's just been catching all the big ones.
I know I'm addicted now, so I'll be looking for your number later.
Well, if you think this was fun, come back in the springtime. We'll really go and have a good time. We'll catch
Awesome.
lots of fish.
Cool, I can't wait.
All right, me too.
For Women's Sport Fishing, I'm Victoria Sweet, and I hope you get hooked on fishing.
This is a Brandy Rocks production.